I am Steve, this is Fran. Today we got a really interesting one. Two of the highest of the high ends, Wolf versus Gaggenau. Now, Gaggenau doesn't make a pro range, so we're not gonna compare that. We're gonna talk wall ovens, steam ovens, gas tops, induction tops, steam ovens, and coffee systems. If you like these ranking videos, just hit the subscribe button and be first notified. But where do you want to start?
Let's start with wall ovens.
Okay.
So Gaggenau, just in general, Gaggenau is a really kind of unique style range as well. Really kind of stylistically looks very different. We have kind of that glass over stainless steel, which is a really nice look. Really the controls and how you use the oven and really their appliances is going to be very different from the Wolf to the Gaggenau. One thing sometimes you hear with Gaggenau is that you need to kind of know what you're doing maybe a little bit, because it takes a little bit more getting used to, because it's not going to necessarily walk you through it. But at the same time, if you have someone that's really loves to cook and is a good chef, not even a chef, but just a good at-home cook, it gives you the most control, and it's going to be the most precise oven that you're going to find out there.
Yeah, you're talking about, how many modes do you cook with at home?
Exactly, pretty much, yeah.
Like 3 or 4?
Bake.
There's 17 modes in a Gaggenau oven, all designed for specific types of cooking. You have a side swing oven, so you're inside the oven and you're gonna hinge it right or left, versus say a Wolf, which is a traditional drop down. Now, Gaggenau is more modern. You do have that black glass option of Wolf, the transitional, the more pro style, and the other contemporary style. So you have 3 stylistically, but of the wall ovens that you can buy, Gaggenau is certainly the most unique.
Absolutely.
And certainly the most designed for someone who knows how to cook. Like if you cook pastry a certain way or bread a certain way, Gaggenau is the type of, the more advanced you are in your cooking, the better a Gaggenau is for you. That said, right, Wolf, and to a certain degree, Miele work the opposite way, where you have a Wolf Gourmet, where you tell it what you want to cook, how you want it done, it will give you time and temperature, right? It'll even give you rack position to make things, and it'll give you 50 pre-programmed recipes as well. So if you want to enhance your cooking, or maybe think of it a different way, or you're unsure, you can let the oven think for you by itself. So these are 2 totally different ovens for 2 totally almost different types of people, and it really depends on where you sit, on the scheme. I think the Gaggenau controls are very easy. They're 2 knobs, but the Wolf is just simple. I mean, they'll even tell you the rack position.
So easy to use, and even we talk about the Gaggenau, like you can control what part of the broil element you're using, the bake, so really kind of have a lot of control there. Whereas the Wolf, it just makes it so easy to use at the same time. Like you said, one thing I like about the Wolf too is like the size of the oven, how they have the 2 convection fans that are kind of in the back corners as opposed to the middle. So it opens up the back a little bit, makes the oven itself a little bit deeper. So for roast or, things like that, you can fit a little bit more in there too. But yeah, both really,
it really
good
depends.
options.
It really depends on where you are as a cook / chef, determines which one you buy. All right, what's next? Steam ovens?
Steam ovens.
So we're not ranking.
That's what I was wondering.
Tough to rank. So they're both S's.
Let's give them, absolutely. Steam ovens.
Once again, totally different. I just got the new Wolf steam oven. I had the old Wolf steam oven. The one thing steam could never do was could never reheat anything crispy. So if you put your chicken tenders in there from like yesterday, could never reheat it, except on this oven. This oven has a reheat crispy mode. This oven has every mode. I can't think of anything it doesn't do. You have 3 reheats. You can just do regular reheat. You can do reheat humid for like noodles and stuff, or you can reheat crispy, right? And it will automatically determine everything, rack position, all of that for you. So this is a totally intuitive oven. That said, the only thing it can't do is what Gaggenau can do, which is where you can control precise levels of steam, change the temperature within 1 degree. If you're really locked in on a particular recipe that you need it cooked a certain way, Gaggenau is the only product that can do that in oven or in steam ovens.
Absolutely. And that's, the Wolf is, and I know you've been saying we were getting the new one, so I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for you to see kind of what new modes and stuff we've discovered here. And, the Wolf, they made it so much bigger too than the old one. So I'm the capacity is really large on those now too. The width of them, same overall dimensions really, but the width is much more interior space. I like the Wolf personally because it's, for someone that probably doesn't know how to cook as well, like as I would with the Gaggenau, I like how it kind of walks you through everything with that gourmet mode. So again, both really, really great, but again, for different types of chefs as well, different types of home cooks.
Exactly. You can't really choose between the two because they're both good for a certain type of person. You have to decide which one's better for you.
Mm-hmm. The other thing I like about the Gaggenau too is, there is some maintenance required when you kind of have the steam ovens. You want to make sure you're descaling.
You got to descale.
The Gaggenau definitely makes that they're both pretty easy, but the Gaggenau has kind of we always say it's almost like a little car wash. You can kind of stick it in there and it kind of runs an auto wash program as well that will help to kind of descale and clean the steam oven.
Yeah, Wolf will give you a descaling program as well.
Yep.
So both great pieces. New Wolf's, it's really a joy, very simple to use.
So now let's go to Induction. So Induction Cooktops here.
Well, Wolf's got a new one. They've got the new LCD screen, the easy to use power buttons. You can bridge simply with the Wolf. Very nice top. But in terms of like overall, that Gaggenau is really, thermal liberty and where you can move it side to side, back and forth. You've got all kinds of programs. It's a step up from the thermal liberty where you can put it on the right side, go to the left side, and then the actual cooktop will track that. Yeah. That's the best piece, and that's certainly even more expensive than the Wolf.
Absolutely, yeah, it's a significant price difference, but it is, you have the flexibility of really putting it anywhere on the top, whereas the Wolf, you really kind of still have those 5 elements where you can bridge kind of 2 of those together as well.
I think the screen is a little bit better on the Wolf, more updated, easy to bridge, very intuitive, very simple to use, but Gaggenau, and I can't believe it, the Freedom Technology has been out for like 10 years, and nobody's doing that with those sensors the way Thermo is still doing it to this day. So,
how about gas cooktops?
Gas cooktops, I still like the Wolf because it's got the you can simmer well on all
on
3.
Any burner,
if we're talking, the Wolf will give you the range tops as well.
Yep.
That Gaggenau still, do they still have the
the hob. So they'll have the hobs with the controls in the front too.
They still
with the controls and the knobs in the front.
Yep. And Wolf still has that too.
Yep.
But in terms of like what people use a cooktop for or range top for, I think Wolf's just got more options that Gaggenau just doesn't.
Yeah, absolutely.
Honestly.
Yep.
But I think Induction, Gaggenau's going to be better. Wolf's very good, but Gaggenau, you're going to spend more money.
Yep.
But in terms of gas, you're going to get more selections in a Wolf with the range, especially with the range tops, than you are with Gaggenau, either the cooktops or the hob combinations.
Yep. And finally, let's talk about coffee makers. Not often bring this one up, but let's talk about coffee here. So Gaggenau is newer, I would say, than the Wolf. And one thing, with coffee is, it's like a lot of things. There's not so many manufacturers there. So the Wolf isn't necessarily made by Wolf. Where Gaggenau and the BSH family has changed a little bit is they actually now do produce their own coffee maker. So I would say feature-wise, you're going to get much better controls kind of that you would get on a Gaggenau or something like that than you get with the Wolf, where it's a little bit more stripped down on a Wolf coffee maker. Not as many options as you'd have on the Gaggenau as like your personal favorites that you can store, automatically make, and that sort of thing. But I would say, with coffee makers similar to steam ovens, one thing you want to be careful of there too is maintenance, scaling, and all those things.
You got to clean your coffee maker. But do you know how many different coffees you can make in a Gaggenau?
How many?
If you go and on their Home Connect app, there are 34 different coffees you can make in a Gaggenau coffee maker. 34. It's probably the best. I personally, a little off topic here. I like the Miele because it's just so darn simple.
Yeah.
But in terms of coffee aficionado, I want to make a Viennese coffee. It's Gaggenau you want. It's almost a reflection of the whole line. If you want to do something a certain way, probably every appliance you buy, except for maybe La Cornue, you got to do it a certain way. You got to set it at a certain temperature. You got to set it at a certain mode. With Gaggenau, you can do whatever you want. I don't know if there's any more than 34 different types of coffee.
I don't think so.
But you can do anything on their ovens, their coffee makers. It's distinct, it's different. It's probably not as intuitive as some of the other ones, but you can do it simply.
Yeah.
You just got to figure out a little bit more. But I think in terms of coffee makers, in terms of making coffee, Gaggenau is the best you can buy.
Yeah, I agree there. I think, like you said, the Miele is great, the Gaggenau is great. Those are really the two best ones that are out there.
All right, that's it for Gaggenau versus Wolf. If you like the ranking style, this wasn't a ranking style video, was it?
We skipped the ranking.
If you like this discussion style video, click the subscribe button, and thanks for watching.